This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
For PA, second hour. Text messages rolling in, 64686. We will attend to them. Appreciate you listening to 9 to noon. Season opener on a Monday night. Vikings at the Chicago Bears. He'll be setting the scene from the sidelines at Soldier Field this evening. Normally a Thursday guest. I heard you, Ben Leber, at Nacho Leber via X, chiming in with the power trip. It was a tough morning for you from a Survivor League standpoint, it sounds like. Wow, those Dolphins were awful. But a beautiful morning for you in Chicago as we finally get to all these takes, all these talkers come to fruition, my friend.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should address the Survivor pick. I mean, that was for my first time ever playing that type of fantasy game. Boy, that was the worst way to start. And I will say, though, in my defense, I thought, obviously I'm wrong, but I thought I used sound logic. I'm like, okay, I know the Dolphins are going on the road. That doesn't mean every team that goes on the road should lose. So I'm like, okay, it's Tua, it's Tyreek. They at least have a little bit of stability in their team somewhat. I'm like, Daniel Jones' first start, I don't know. I just didn't have a lot of faith. And so, boy, was I proven wrong. And I am now out and get to cheer against everybody else for the next several weeks.
Well, it's an odd parallel to attempt to make to our Vikings tonight, getting to see the debut of J.J. McCarthy. But when you were with us on Thursday, I had gone down that road with PA, kind of the if not now, when. And so you got Daniel Jones trying to figure things out. It's kind of the best of the mediocre in terms of the quarterback situation in Indy. Defense is all right. But I'm thinking if not now, when. Tua's healthy. You're right. Tyreek and Waddle, et cetera. And they had finally been able to say, like, Jalen Phillips, their pass rusher's back, and Bradley Chubb is healthy and far removed from that nasty injury he had a year or two ago. I did not see that coming. I would never have taken the Dolphins, but I can understand your logic in totality. They just got shell shocked yesterday. That's a bad team. Coach should be on the hot seat, and if not now, when scenario for them has gone the wrong way in a hurry. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen with JJ and company tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, the last thing I'll say about this whole terrible pick is that, I would admit I definitely overthought the process. I should have taken just like, okay, here's some obvious favorites that we almost know for certainty that are going to win just to get into the next week. But I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, well, how do you strategize with this thing? Like if I ever get down the road, like if I win game 1 and game 2 and whatever, am I going to have to are the Dolphins ever going to be in the mix again and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, let me just get that pick out of the way. I don't know. Obviously that's not the right strategy. I definitely should have picked some other teams that had more of a sure shot. But all that being said, put that thing to bed. Big game tonight. And the thing about this game, as we've all analyzed this for weeks and weeks and weeks, is like there's just so much that we don't really know. I mean, we can break these things down and say, well, we know that we have the talent here and talent there, but until we see JJ play 4 quarters against some adversity, against a revamped defense that Chicago has, how's that going to look? I mean, you can go down a lot of rabbit holes on how you think that's going to look. You can go down a lot of rabbit holes on how you think that Caleb Williams is going to look in this new offense. How is Ben Johnson going to use him? Is it going to look like Jared Goff? Is it going to look like something different? Is it going to be a hybrid of the two? What does the run game look like? Because they don't have quite the same talent maybe as Detroit does, but still philosophy still remains that Ben Johnson wants to run the football. So it's like, I don't know, man. I really don't know how to truly break this down. And I think that's why I'm so excited to watch this thing get kicked off tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wonder this, if you remember, well, of course you do. When Kevin O'Connell started his coaching career, got his first head coaching opportunity here in Minnesota, I remember early stages of camp, we'd see some guys off to the side wearing green jerseys, in fact. And it was like Kenny Clark and maybe Jair Alexander, et cetera. The amount of prep that it felt like. And Kevin O'Connell would go on to win his coaching debut against the Packers. But I wonder how much time Ben Johnson has put into this game as well, because, big playbook, and this is going to be a massive pivot or heel turn for Caleb Williams into year 2. You hear the coach say you want to tear him down to the studs. But in a vacuum, in a singular environment for a new coach, I have to imagine that this has been on the calendar, of course, for weeks, if not months. And I picture the prep work that KO put into his debut. I think Ben Johnson's going to come correct tonight against a team he's pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his demeanor and just like his press conferences and the way that he approached, no doubt they're going to be ready. I mean, there's obviously going to be some things that happen in game day that, maybe just some communication things that they'll have to work out, because we all know that when the game starts going, the time in between plays can just be accelerated when you're thinking about so many things. And so I'm sure they're going to have to work out some of the communication wrinkles and all that. But, again, I know his team will be ready to play, but it's is it going to be the full playbook? Is it going to be just, man, we really got to take this thing kind of slow and baby steps with what Caleb's really good at? How much do we let him improvise? Again, all those things kind of remain kind of floating in the air. And then, you look at what Caleb can do too, outside of just the primary play. I mean, I think that we all saw from playing him last year was the guy is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't execute the best laid plan for that play, he can improvise, he can be creative, he can break tackles, he can get outside the pocket. And so he can be dangerous in that sort of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen sort of way, where it's the secondary plays that we really have to worry about too, because scramble coverage is really, really tough when all you tell your receivers is just to go get open. And that's really hard for any cornerback or defensive back to go out there and just chase a guy around from behind.
How much can Ben Johnson do from a coaching standpoint to unravel some of that? Where you mentioned the playmaking and the athleticism of a Caleb Williams. If we were to define Williams at this stage in his career, I think those are two massive feathers in his cap. The 68 sacks would also tell you that whether he's risk averse in certain spots to just make the freaking throw, buying himself times, sometimes means he's going bankrupt in the backfield. We saw Grenard get him in OT when he was dancing around back there forever last year at Soldier Field. Is there a part of that where, Ben Johnson, there might be moments of frustration where he's like, I drew this. I just spent 3-4 years scheming Amon-Ra St. Brown open by 10 yards on every freaking play, and now you're bouncing around back there. What are you doing? I'm just curious how the ebb and flow of that dynamic's going to work between Johnson and Caleb.
Well, and I would say it's even if Eberflus was still there and it was still the same regime, I think the questions still remain about Caleb Williams is, can he anticipate throws at a pro level consistently? And that was kind of a knock on him coming out of that USC system.
Yeah.
And what Lincoln Riley does. Now, some of the guys in Lincoln Riley's system, they have flourished. It does take them a little longer. I mean, you look at Baker Mayfield, and it took him quite a few years to kind of understand the NFL game and anticipation and all that stuff. So it can be done, but I would even say that it's the same question that we would have this season with Caleb, even if it was the same offense and he had a full year under his belt. I just don't think that he does a great job of anticipating throwing guys open and seeing the field and the defense correctly at this point. So I do think that is something that they have to mitigate. Probably a lot more easy throws built into this offense. But as I kind of alluded to earlier, it really comes down to how well they can run the football. I mean, I don't think Ben Johnson's going to change his stripes, going from one team to another. He wants to run the ball. He wants to get his offensive linemen out in space. They want to use their pullers. They want to get to the second level, and they want to throw the football to the running backs. If they can't get that done, then I just don't see Caleb putting everything on his shoulders and throwing this football team for success down the field.
That's Ben Leber, sideline analyst. Of course, you can watch him Twin Cities live during the week, but he's in Chicago today, ready to pump up Vikings-Bears, 7:15 kickoff, 5 p.m. pregame. You're home for all things purple and gold, the fan. How much does KO, how willing is he, do you believe, to change his stripes a bit? And we saw it in the offseason by adding Fries, and you draft the cat out of Ohio State, Donovan Jackson, and, of course, Ryan Kelly. Then you bring in Jordan Mason. Does it feel like our guys may be ready to change his stripes a bit as it pertains to the ground game?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's sort of the prevailing opinion, I think, that's floating around. Just like defensively, I think we're going to see a lot more man coverage and a lot more physicality out of our corners. So we'll see how that plays out. But, yeah, I think that there's an evolution to every system. I think they want to be a little bit more downhill. I would expect to see a little bit more of a pin and pull scheme, getting our guards on the move, getting Ryan Kelly from that center position to really get up to that second level. And then, when you really start to look at the film of what, Allen did down in New Orleans as the head coach / defensive coordinator, they play just a pretty prototypical, 4-man front. And a lot of times they'll leave that center sort of untouched and uncovered. Now they will take sort of that nose tackle, that one technique, and move him post-snap into that center position, trying to cross space and stuff like that. But there's a lot of opportunity for the centers to get off the ball and get up to the second level quickly. So I kind of expect all that to happen today is how well do our cutback runs work? Can we get movement with our offensive line and kind of implement a little bit more of a ground and pound scheme with Jordan Mason, especially as you get down in the red zone, which we all know that we weren't great rushing the football in the red zone last year near the goal line. So if that can look different tonight, then I think it really opens up all the options for what we have, play action, pass, and getting down the field.
Couple health related questions for you, just kind of watching things. If you're a Bears fan and you're pumped for this game, you're pumped for the whole bit to lift off tonight, but you see that your man in the middle, TJ Edwards, linebacker, he's doubtful, probably not going to play. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Johnson, they've been kind of sweating his return. Would it be week 1, week 2? He's in that mix of limbo this evening. And then Kyler Gordon out of nowhere pops up with a hammy. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm kind of worried about the health of my defensive unit right now.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried too. It'd be interesting how we're going to attack this defense with those injuries. They're hurting at the nickelback spot. That's obviously huge for us, given that we'll probably have Thielen in that spot a lot of the times on third down and kind of got to have it downs. So I expect him to win those matchups. Even with a healthy linebacker core, they're not great in coverage. I mean, they're more of a downhill unit, bigger guys. So we could take advantage of them with the running backs and the tight end situation. And now that they'll be down a linebacker and starting a rookie, although this Reuben guy, watching him, like he can fly around. I mean, he's very aggressive. But certainly as a rookie starting in there, you can take advantage of him in the run game, give him a lot of things to think about and kind of get him off his spots as well. So there are some ways that we can pick apart this defense, but you got to be careful though sometimes when you try to change your game plan based on injuries right away.
Yeah.
I think the first half, just let things play out, call your game as you see it. And then, if you see that there's vulnerabilities in the second half, then maybe you can start to isolate some players. But, I don't think you want to get away from a game plan too early just because of the injuries.
Yeah. Reuben Hypolite. I mean, is that like a high lumen flashlight or some sort of regenerating drink? Some sort of powder. I'm not quite sure. What are you most just personally pumped to see the most this evening? I mean, that revamped defensive front. We talked about the O-line, and for me, right out of the gates, when you hit on kind of changing to that power run game, or at least implementing that into the offense, I want to see how the dueling backs of Jones and Mason are utilized tonight. Of course, the QB is a topic above all, but I know that Jefferson's going to be good, and I expect TJ Hawkinson to be good. Like, just from a fresh perspective, what are you most amped to see this evening in game 1?
Honestly, I know that everybody thinks that we should play a little bit safe with McCarthy, especially early in the game with just some easy throws and stuff like that. But I got to be honest, I want to see them rip it. I want to see him kind of showcase that he has the arm strength. And I think early we should be attempting some 50-50 balls down the sidelines. I think really attacking this team from outside the numbers is going to be important. Just the way that they roam their safeties around, you're going to see a lot of two safety look pre-snap, and then they're going to insert a safety post-snap, and they like to rob sort of the middle of the field and give you different looks and really disguise with their safeties. And so if they're going to sort of, create some cloudiness between the hashes, then fine. Let them do their thing out there. We've got guys on the outside that can win. I think that we can win consistently, especially if they have some injuries out there. So I want to see if we can have JJ just sort of, get the ball down the field on some chunk plays early and keep him aggressive.
Just play action, max protect, and let her fly?
I think so. I mean, whether or not we have like true success with like big chunk runs, I think just showing the fact that we will run the ball and then, off of play action, hit some deep out cuts or some deep, just go balls. Again, I think everybody thinks that JJ is just like this game manager build and this game manager type of guy because of what he did at Michigan. But I will go back and argue that his tape in Michigan shows that he's got a strong arm and he can rip it. And I kind of want to dispel those myths tonight.
No, I'm in on that. Looking forward to hearing you on the call this evening, my brother. Appreciate you carving out some time for me on a game day morning, and I know you'll throw strikes tonight on the radio. And man, Vikings 1-0. It might feel good later on tonight. About 12 hours from now, I might be able to say that JJ McCarthy has his first win, and the Vikings are in the winner's circle to start Week 1.
I cannot wait. So looking forward to it. I think we all look at our roster and say this is a very talented team. The thing that we just can't do is just don't throw the game away. Don't give them easy turnovers and protect the football. And I think we got this one in the bag.
All right. Have a good day, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You too, man. Bye.
Ben Leber. That's Ben Leber, sideline analyst, Vikings Radio Network. You hear him with the Power Trip. You hear him bumper to bumper. You hear him 9 to noon weekly. You hear him once in a while with the Grum. He's all over the place. And he's on freaking TV too. Twin Cities Live, weekday afternoons. In Chicago, part of the party. It's an opening day party here. Vikings at the Bears, 7:15 kickoff. We're going to jump into maybe some Vikes bites around the corner. Still ahead this hour, the Gophers absolutely waxed Northwestern State over the weekend at Huntington Bank Stadium. The head coach, PJ Fleck, joins us weekly. He will join me around 20 minutes from now, I will call it. But then 11 a.m. hour back into the purple and looking across the NFL. In addition to Pete Bursich, he's the sidecar. He's the shotgun man in the radio booth with PA. We're going to check in with Pete Bursich, gets his thoughts on this game as well. You're listening to 9 to noon on The Fan.
Vikings football is back, and we've got your shot at tickets to Sunday's game for the home opener by showing us your purple preset. Set KFAN as a preset on the iHeartRadio app, screenshot it, post it with the hashtag KFAN purple preset to your social media. Make sure to follow and tag KFAN as well. Winners will be DM'd this Friday. Get full rules. KFAN.com keyword contest.
Full rules?
Full rules. I know, I got to talk slowly.
I'm not judging you. I've been known to poorly articulate a word here or there. Text message machine 64686. Right now, the McCarthy love will never be higher. I want him to be the next Tarkenton, but the first missed open guy or interception will bring out the skepticism. And you're absolutely right. I agree. And you could say tempering expectations, but kind of how, laying it out in the open, and I've said it a couple of times, I'll say it again now, is if you trust the coach and you move on from Sam Darnold, you didn't make a play for Kirk in the offseason, you didn't even let Rodgers in the door, you handpicked this kid a couple years ago, he gets hurt in the Raiders game during preseason a year ago, and you had myriad opportunities to potentially have a different option into 2025, but you believe in him. If you believe in the coach who believes in the kid, then the expectations do need to be high. So if you do see functionally just fundamental issues that can exist, picture like Bryce Young during his rookie season. I watched yesterday's game with the Panthers. Didn't look great. They're losing wide receivers, I think, like health-wise, like left and right, and they traded away Thielen. But think about Bryce Young and some of the issues that he went through his rookie career, or any rookie in that regard. at the college level, watching Arch Manning just languishing at Ohio Stadium that opening weekend for Texas. You think about, like, if you just start seeing basic fundamental L's with JJ's game this evening, I think it's fair to be worried about them, enter that skepticism, and keep an eye on it because of the decision that was made by the coach. So expectations need to be there. They are, the love may never be higher than it is right now, unless he leads us in certain directions that the team has not been quite a long time. So we shall see. Ryan in Michigan, Nord's crazy Vikes fan since '88. It's the most anticipated, nerve-wracking opener I can remember for all the reasons we've beaten to death. I'm so excited to dominate the Bears. Let's go. Another text. Carl, Columbia Heights. The biggest disappointment in the start of this Viking season is that CJ Ham isn't playing the first few weeks. So I can't do my bit of shotgunning a Hams each time CJ touches the ball. First of all, Carl, and it's difficult working in my particular arena. I don't get to actually watch the games anymore, but I would love that bit. That's a brilliant bit. Every time CJ Ham gets a touch, I got to watch out. Short yardage situations, pace yourself. Again, long day, do it safely. But a Hams for Ham every touch. Because that'll lead you, over the course of a long day, again, space it out. Maybe it could be 2, could be 5, but it's never 20. So you're kind of in that window, which I think is you're okay in that regard. Again, be responsible. Another text from Paul. The difference is Vikings new GCG, guard, center, guard. They're all new, all a big upgrades. Less about coaches and schemes and more about who you have. Major upgrade for the purple. Let's see it in action. Yeah, this O-line. Again, so many things that you're thinking about you want to see finally unveiled because it's been projection central for 4, 5, 6 months. The O-line tonight, man. Fries, Kelly into the rookie. If it's good, this whole thing's going to look special, and it's going to be a fun night at Soldier Field. Vikes Bites. Vikes Bites is presented by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. You can shop online. Box of meat shows up at your doorstep. You can go to your local Coburns and Co-ops locations, Kowalski's as well. And they're proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. We love us some Thousand Hills. For a Vikes Bite or Bites, what do you have, Brett?
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites. 3 players out on the Vikings injury report. The biggest one for me, obviously, is Harrison Smith, listed with an illness. I'm not sure which illness it is, but he was limited Friday and Saturday, ruled out. How big of a miss is that for your Viking defense?
With Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely a miss. I've joked about it for 2 years that even Flores is talking, I want to take some reps off of number 22. I want to keep some tread on the tires for the old man, potential Hall of Famer, kind of on a year-to-year situation with the purple. But Flores can't take him off the field, and that's why he's continued to be as important to the operation as he has been. We're going to get to see more Theo Jackson. I'm glad PA. I was shooting from the lip, shooting from the hip. Jay Ward. And it's kind of interesting to see after having such a spectacular camp and the work that he has been doing on special teams. At one point, you only saw Jay Ward when he was getting a false start on like field goal coverage or something, and they were moving the chains, and it was a bad moment. You saw Jay Ward making a ton of plays in a lot of spots. And again, the depth at corner, you're thinking about seeing 3 safeties on a more regular basis. It's a huge opportunity for Theo tonight, and potentially a big opportunity to see more Jay Ward, certainly, than you ever would have seen if 22 was healthy. Now, I just continue to believe what I have heard, and you heard it during Power Trip. You probably heard it bumper to bumper, and every show in between for the last 5-6 days, and those that post on X and report on it, that this personal health thing, the ambiguity around the way it's been framed up, is indeed of the minor variety. This is not a thing that should push on into the mist, but concerning enough, certainly, that you're not having him on a Monday night at Soldier Field. So it's disappointing that whatever this is, it hasn't been resolved yet. But until told otherwise, you just kind of have to roll with the idea that this isn't a longer term situation. Disappointed that 22 is not there.
Vikes Bites. Not listed on the injury report is Justin Jefferson, but as we know, he missed a huge chunk of training camp, and I don't think he took a single snap in the preseason with hamstring issues. Is there even in the back of your head? I mean, I'm a JJ fantasy owner. I would like him to play very well tonight.
JJ McCarthy?
No, Justin Jefferson.
There we go. Don't make that
sorry,
mistake.
Jets.
There we go.
Is there even a 1%?
We're all learning to change. Okay?
Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Very
it's going to take me a lot to get used to. Is there even a little nagging voice in the back of your head that goes, is Jets 100% here?
See, this is okay.
Like, he hasn't played. Like, is he going to be a little bit slow to get?
This is why. See, with the Vikes bites, Brett. Absolutely, as a Packers fan, this would be the direction that you would go. You're not interested in hearing about T.J. Hawkinson with an opportunity, fully healthy offseason, and the role that he might play. We had to wait until that awful playoff game for Hawkinson to get into the end zone. And at that point, it was a pity score, if we're being honest. The 9 sacks on Darnold, and just everything went bad that could go potentially bad. Of course, as a Packers fan, to think your tough questions is the hell. No. Soft tissue things are a potential thing. But until those things arise, Brett, we don't worry about them. We don't think about them. We certainly don't try to speak them into existence.
That's not what I'm doing.
I'm not sitting around talking about the highly touted rookie, Golden, and wondering if there's an ankle nick here or there. I'm not playing that game. I don't like your team, but I'm not trying to manifest bad things. What are you doing, Brett?
I want him to play well.
It's unbelievable. No. Number here's so during camp in the joints, he was actually doing some workouts on the side. And they were working the bleep out of him. He's running full speed routes, and he was doing sprints and all these things he was cutting. And this was back during the Patriots joint practices. The fact that he didn't take snaps and those things, that's immaterial. 18 was never going to be, a significant part of preseason activities outside of, maybe we would have liked to see him get more of the one-on-one and more of a physical presence in the joints, certainly. But no, he's been running around for a month at full speed. Now, of course, taking care of the hammy and such. He missed a fair chunk of games in 2023. I believe that was the other hammy. So it is certainly, as you speak about Justin Jefferson, yes, we know that he had the hammy in 2023 and he was slow to go during camp. He is ready to tear the freaking non-existent roof off and absolutely destroy that crappy turf at Soldier Field tonight. 18 is ready to freaking go. And so that other thing that you mentioned, why wouldn't you? You're a Packers fan. That's not an issue at this particular point.
I really wasn't trying to do that. All right. But it is what it is. Do you want one more?
I overreacted, and I'm an emotional person, and I'm sorry.
He was injured during the training camp thing, so I wasn't recalling last year's.
Stop while you're behind, please.
All right. It's all good.
That's Brett Blakemore. It is Vikes Bites, brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. We're going to pause and switch to the college squad as your Gophers just housed Northwestern State over the weekend, 66 rip. And what did the coach think? What did the coach draw out of that game? Cal around the corner. PJ Fleck's going to join us next right here on The Fan. Welcome back, 9 to noon, Nordowin for PA, and a lot of Vikings conversation today, but happening over the weekend. Minnesota Golden Gophers football absolutely put one on Northwestern State, 66-0 the final. I don't know if it was Mother Nature or a little bit of a mercy rule, but in the end, the game had to be shortened. But 2-0 are your Gopher squad, and joining me now, head coach Gophers football PJ Fleck. How are you doing this morning, Coach?
Doing elite, Nordo. Thanks for having us on, man.
No, and I'm thankful that you gave me some time, specifically with Northwestern State. So 66 people look at the score line, got an opportunity to see a fair number of gentlemen on your roster. Maybe you don't see in other situations throughout the season. Is that how you kind of approach a game like this, where you're sifting through and evaluating maybe a mismatch in class, but you also got to really put some guys in spots that now you can evaluate with game film?
Yeah, we had 76 players playing that game, and then, you cut it 7 minutes short. There was going to be a rain delay, and there was going to be a thunder delay, lightning delay, weather delay. So we kind of got together at midfield, and, it's about 7 minutes to go. Just kind of said our athletic director, Mark Coyle, and their athletic director and their staff kind of got together and just said, hey, listen, we're good if our fans are already cleared out of there, so might as well just let them head back to Louisiana, and we keep our guys healthy as possible. And we already got to play 76 players. But I'm really proud of our staff and our players, and they treated that just like a conference game. And that's the thing about this team that's so fun, Nordo, is it doesn't matter who we play, doesn't matter where we play. They prepare like it is the Big Ten championship type game. And we're going to be 1-0 every single week. This just happened to be, we got out early. We're up 59-0 at halftime. And, you know, we were able to play a lot of different players, and nothing is better than experience in football. So if we can continue to create that depth within our program for 2025, as we are a developmental program, then it only helps you as you keep going through the season.
And as part of that, you know, able to run down the list from a quarterback's perspective, I mean, 76 players, PJ. You had a lot of guys running in and out of there. Do you feel like in a game like that, there's the advantage of getting that experience for these kids, but you also go into every game, regardless of the opponent? You mentioned you played it, you coached it up like it was a conference game, and it matters. All of these matter. Do you feel like you accomplished what you wanted to in getting Drake Lindsay more time on the field and some of maybe your top depth chart players a chance to produce, be productive, and then maybe put it on ice with Cal around the corner?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our starters only played 9-10 plays when you really look at it, because our defense was scoring. You know, we had 9 different guys catch passes. We had 10 different guys carry the football. We had 9 different people score touchdowns. It really was one of those games where, as a coach, you're really thankful for it, because you get true live evaluation. You get to bring the floor up, meaning you get a lot of your depth, a ton of work. I mean, I thought Drake went in there and was surgical. I mean, he was 8 of 9, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. And that's what we gave him. And by that time, the game was out of hand. And then you put Max Shigazansky, a Minnesota native, who's our backup quarterback, in there, and he went 4 or 5 for 80 yards and a touchdown. And it was just one of those games that, you know, we did a lot of things really well. We were able to improve from game 1 to game 2, and now we've got to take that data from the first 2 games and go apply it to a really tough road trip that we have heading out to Cal, which we've kind of done a little bit differently with our schedule. But heading out to a Cal team was also 2-0.
You mentioned Max Shigazansky. And do we have a nickname for Max? I mean, that's a tough one on the back of the jersey for the first time, getting hit with that on Saturday and trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Do we have a nickname for Max, Coach?
Yeah, most people don't call him Max because everybody thinks it's Max Brosmer. And, you know, now he's with the Vikings playing tonight with, behind JJ and Carson. So we just call him Schick.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy, just Schick. Yeah, that way we know which Max it is. Anytime you say Max in Minnesota here, I mean, everybody now is starting to know it's Max Brosmer.
What have you thought? You mentioned Drake and getting some good work in. Some of these guys only playing maybe 9-10 plays. What have you thought of Drake through the 5.5 quarters or so and just moving forward in the season? What's impressed you about his development and taking this opportunity by the reins?
Yeah, just his maturity, you know, his preparation, his poise. I think a lot of people watch him play. It's hard to actually believe that he is a freshman when he's out there. He is big. He is 6'4", 230 pounds. He's got a big arm. I think he showed last week that he can run. If he has to run, he can run and do it and with precision and understand situational football. He's learned an awful lot in the first 2 weeks. I mean, week 1, we had so many different situations, and week 2 presented different situations from week 1. I just really like his maturity, his poise, and he's playing experience. And again, I think some people forget he's a freshman. There's a growing curve to this. This isn't about micromanaging your quarterback and holding him back. He has the exact same offense that Max Brosmer was producing in, if not, maybe even a little bit more on his plate. So this isn't micromanaging and just spoon feeding him. This is throwing everything at him and allowing him to grow as fast as possible, because the faster he grows, the better our team's going to be now and then into the future.
That's PJ Fleck, head coach, Gophers football. And time for a couple more. I know you got a presser around the corner. Darius Taylor gets nicked up in the game, and I hope he's doing well. And it struck me, though, PJ, as a coach, like, is there anything you can tell a kid? What's tough about if somebody's getting the injury bug and this player obviously wants to be on the field? Like, how do you keep that kid's head up when these little bumps and bruises keep strumming along?
Well, first of all, I think it's part of it is this is a life program. I think our kids see that there's so much more to life than just football. Now, football has brought us all together. It's really, really important. There's 12 judgment opportunities on games on Saturdays that we actually get judged for, and we do all this work for. So it's really, you hurt for the young person. You hurt for Darius, you hurt for anybody who gets hurt at this level, because you know how much work they put in. He's been incredibly productive. And when you look last year, he was great. I mean, he played 12 of our games out of the 13 games we played in. So he only missed one last year. And when you are a running back and you are having that physical contact and there are certain things that happen, that's part of the game. And I think he's mature enough now to understand it is part of it. There's not a lot of people who stay completely healthy from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, whether that's the National Football League or college football. But he's handling it really well. And the good thing is we got some really good news. So it wasn't as bad as initially thought, which is really good. So he's doing really, really good. And, he's progressing every single day. So we'll just keep an eye on it as he keeps going.
I'm digging that. Last thing for you, Coach. You go with the opener, you get the W. This last Saturday feels kind of like gearing down a bit. Now you gear back up for this Cal team. ACC, by the way, that's weird. The team's going to have to travel to freaking Boston College this year. They got to figure out this conference stuff. But with Cal, how do you get your kids remotivated and kind of tell them, hey, it ain't going to be this easy every week, gentlemen. So let's dig in against Cal.
Well, I think our team definitely already understands that. They know what the preparation they've put in all year. It's really not about our opponent. It's about how we play, how we execute. And I think we showed that maturity on Saturday afternoon at 11 a.m. kickoff and did what we had to do. Cal's a very good opponent. They've got a stifling defense. They've got two really good players. I mean, they're all really good, but you look at, 0 and 43. They're tremendous. One of the defensive ends and linebackers. They got a really good secondary. And then they've got a freshman of their own at quarterback, a young freshman who's really playing at a very high level as well, who can do a lot of things on offense. And Brian Harsin, the former head coach of Boise State, he's over there as the offensive coordinator, and Coach Wilcox has done a great job. So this is a Power 4 football game, period. And we've got 10 of those in a row, and our players understand that it's not preseason or anything like that. You don't have that in college football, but now Power 4 football starts, and we understand the challenges we have coming up in the 10 games, and a lot of respect for Cal and what they've been able to do. And, I think they lost 4 games by a total of 9 points last year. That they could have easily been a 10-win team. So we got to work it out for us heading all the way out west, but we got a good plan for it and have to have a really good week of preparation.
Thanks for the time, as always. Good luck this weekend, and hope we can chat again next Monday.
Look forward to it, Nordo. Skull Vikes tonight, man. It's going to be a lot of fun watching those guys. So row the boat, Sky and Go Gophers.
Cheers. Thanks, Coach. Have a great one. That's PJ Fleck, Golden Gopher football head coach. And that's a late one. It's kind of Dunks After Dark, Big Ten style, I suppose, former Pac-12 vibe. 9:30 p.m. kickoff right here on your home for Gophers football. Man, we got it all. We got the Vikes, we got Wild, we got Wolves, we got Lynx, we got Gophers Athletics. I mean, what don't we have? It is your sports leader, the Fan. Thanks to PJ for his weekly inclusion and his willingness to join us. 11 a.m. hour around the corner. We are going to jump back to NFL-centric final hour. Which will feature just some other awesome bits that happened part of the Week 1 NFL slate. Into Pete Bursich eventually. He's going to join, and we're going to continue to break down Vikings and Bears tonight in Chicago. Final hour ahead. It's Nordo in for PA 9 to noon.